You're listening to the Signal Loss Podcast. This is episode 3, the Show Me Your Nuts State, part 1. This is an ongoing series where I interview local artists and people in the music industry in St. Louis, and then I will play a playlist based on what influences them. Here is our interview with DMY, the local footwork DJ. The following playlists will have some salty language, so if you have any toddlers in the room, make sure to look at their little round diaper butts bounce when they hear the music, because it's funny. What brought you to this genre of music?
Happenstance. Stumbled upon it while surfing SoundCloud for just random new music to listen to, and I can't remember exactly who it was that I heard first. I want to say possibly DJ Elmo. I'm not sure on that, but I heard it and I was like, whoa, that's a sound that I really like a lot, and I started doing more research on it. Luckily it was tagged, footwork. Yeah, I just basically consumed myself researching the whole genre. Every track that I heard from every artist was just phenomenal, and I don't know, I vibed on it. And I wanted to learn how to make it.
Well, once you got into the genre and into the group there of artists, what were your first misconceptions about that world? Did you have any preconceived notions about what goes into making this kind of music?
I really didn't. I know that when I first tried to emulate it, I wasn't capturing that sound. It definitely has like its own production feel to it. It's a lot more, it's not lo-fi, but it's not super polished, clean electronic music. It's pretty raw.
Yeah.
And with a lot of the software that's available, and I use myself, oftentimes when you're creating tracks, it has that super digital feel to it and not as raw. It's all clean. And so I was just at a loss as to really how to get that sound, and then I realized that a lot of it was the way that they were sampling and using the samples as rhythms, not like keying in your notes like you would with Fruity Loops, even though Fruity Loops is used heavily if known how to use it the right way to do this. And I didn't know how to do that with Fruity Loops. With Ableton, I figured it out. I just kept toying with it and trying to get it right. And I feel like I caught a groove a little over a year ago when I started writing it.
Who contacted you first about putting stuff out and collaborating with people?
First person I spoke with was EQY. I wrote a track. I sent it to him. I was like, "What do you think, man?" He was like, "It's cool, but it's too much." And I was like, all right. But I didn't really know what too much was, so I tried to sit back and think about it. And what I realized is what it was, too much of that built-in, clean electronic sound. So now I never released that track, but I definitely worked on it some more, and I feel like I improved it, but I'm going to keep that one with me. So that was my first track that nobody's ever heard except for EQY. And thank you for that, Tyrone.
The process that you create a song, is that a saved thing, or is it live? Do you have a concept of what you're going to do and then literally hit record and do it? Or do you map it all out and edit it, then put it out?
In my early producing days and up to a few years ago, I would kind of map things out and kind of have a plan of what I was going to do. I really forced myself to abandon that approach these last few years and just kind of have no clue what I'm doing and just sit down and just go at it. And basically I'll put some kits together, whether it's sample kits or drum kits or synth kits, just kind of jam out. And once I start plugging in some grooves that I'm vibing on, then I'll lay out some parts of the track and kind of continue to improvise on top of it, and it just kind of layers itself. But I pretty much just record it live on the MPD, and if there's blatant off notes, I'll go back and clean those up, but most of the time it's pretty much by ear on the track.
Is that method of recording a technique to prime yourself for a live performance?
I do live shows completely different from production work. There's no reason for the way I record to carry over to that. I mean, I like the pressure because I feel like if I'm going at it live and I make mistakes, I learn from that. So like that pressure kind of forces you to tighten up, and sometimes you'll do things that kind of like in a band, like you'll make a mistake and that mistake ends up turning into a riff or something.
Yes.
Well, it's the same thing with electronic music, so you can like find those mistakes, and if they're just popping, then you can use them. But otherwise, you just learn from them and get tighter with your approach. And yeah, man. Same thing with live music, because since I don't do on tables, I run off of controllers. But I don't want to be like, here's a track, here's another track, here's another track. I like to experiment with them in the live realm, and I like to use effects, and I like to do some different approaches with repeats and trying to recreate a track that's already, in its place. Expound on it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. One of the things that I've noticed on most of your tracks is very abrasive, aggro samples and themes. And not all of them. The ones that do are also married with this very jazzy, mellow, layered fade in and layer. Just kind of balances that aggro, and it comes out dense.
This music is a beast of its own. It doesn't follow the typical dance 4/4 structure. So rhythmically, it's kind of all over the place, but it's within a realm that is danceable, and it's a high BPM, which also probably ramps up some potential listeners' anxieties or whatever. But yeah, it's by design to, and not every track and not every artist and producer is going to do it. They're all going to do it their own ways.
Yeah.
There's the in your face, and there's the more, rolling along with the in your face that kind of like smooths it out.
Yeah, I think I definitely noticed it in your style. DMY, tell us where we can find your music, where we can contact you, and any new things coming out that we should look forward to.
Where can you find my music? SoundCloud. Go there and search for D-M-Y. The URL is soundcloud.com/Yoshto. You can also find DMY tracks on Bandcamp. Search for DMY there. Also, Nausicaa Sound is a philanthropic. We'll just go ahead and say that we donate all proceeds to different organizations and communities from sales. I have tracks there, so it's nausicaasound.bandcamp.com, DJ DMY at Bandcamp, and you can find me on the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Instagrams as well. Just use that DMY.
What's coming up?
Coming up, I've got tracks coming up on Juke Underground, label out of Chicago. That's going to be a pretty big compilation that they're putting out. It's Juke World Order Volume 2. I'm not sure the street date on that yet, but I would imagine the next month or two. Tech DJs have a Metalworks comp coming out. It's kind of a themed compilation. We're taking metal and rock tracks and sampling them and giving it the Tech DJs vibe. We got a compilation coming out with some more Tech DJs. It's going to be an Elements compilation, and basically we're writing tracks specific to the footwork dance elements like mics and dribbles and ghosts and just all the many moves there are in footwork. Taking those elements and doing a compilation around those. Music coming out on Consortium Records in the UK. That's an EP of mine that will be available middle April. That is more of a house-oriented release. It moves away from the footwork sounds that I have been mostly doing, but there are some elements of the footwork that kind of carry over into that. But that's definitely more a different vibe. Looking forward to putting that one out. Previously, in the last couple months, I've put out a few EPs, one with Dynasty Shit in San Francisco. You can find that at dynastyshit.bandcamp.com. I am in the wealth of EPs that Will has released through that label. Just look for DMY. That album is called Absolute Zero. Tech DJs put out our first compilation, Volume 1, and it's 2 parts. It's also at Bandcamp, techdjs.bandcamp.com. Been busy, man. Lots of music going on. I did, however, get to take the month of February off.
Do you have any live shows coming?
I do. March 28th at Delivery in the basement on Cherokee Street with Black James and DJ Drug Money and Zato and myself. March 28th, I believe it starts at 10. I could be mistaken, but show up at 9 if you want to come. And that'll go to sometime in the morning hours.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, thanks Eli, Signal Lost, for having me on, and definitely check out all the DMY that you can possibly consume, because there's plenty of it.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, that was our interview with DMY. There is a song by DMY. It is called What I Got to Say, and you can find it on soundcloud.com/Yoshto, YOSHTO. That was What I Have to Say by DMY. The rest of these tracks were handpicked by DMY. And this next artist is called DJ Rashad. This song is called Paid Niggas.
Get up, bitch, 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 bitch, get up, niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. When you paid, then you with some paid ass niggas. She rollin' weed and she don't even smoke. 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 She rollin' weed. 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 She rollin' weed and she don't even smoke. 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 She rollin' weed and she don't even smoke.
That was DJ Rashad with Paid Niggas. This next artist is called Traxman, and this song's called Back Up Off Us.
RPM magic, how you like that? 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 RPM magic, 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 be a magic, be a magic. magic, money like that. RPM magic, money like that. RPM magic, money like that. Back up off, 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 like that. 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 Back up, 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 back up.
That was Traxman with a song called Back Up Off Us. This last track is called No Return by RP Boo.
And he never came out, 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 and he
That was No Return by RP Boo. I would like to thank DMY for his time, for his interview, and for his playlist. And please go out, find his music, D-M-Y, either at Bandcamp or at SoundCloud. And check out all these other artists. A lot of them have their music up on Bandcamp. A lot of it's for sale. A lot of it is name your own price. So please go support them, give them some money, and help them keep creating. This is part one of an ongoing series. I do have interviews lined up with other people in the industry and other bands, so stay tuned. And don't forget to send all your feedback, suggestions, or if you want to be on the show. signallostpodcast@gmail.com. That's SIGNALLOST podcast@gmail.com. And I look forward to episode 4. Should be up in about 2 weeks. As always, up yours.
If it doesn't, Spurred up your production.